Hello.
How you doing? What's
So
your name?
good to see you, Dawn.
Dawn?
Yes.
Hello, Dawn.
So good to see you. I met you years ago at Dharma Mitras.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Brought you tea.
Very good. Very good.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
My question is, how do we find forgiveness almost as a spiritual practice, but not for anything that's been recent? I mean, I've had things that have happened in the past 10 years, and I found forgiveness very easy. This is like old stuff, 20, 30 years, and it just doesn't quite get to the light.
And it's stuff you remember consciously, something that specifically happened by
Absolutely.
someone did something to you that hurt.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's hard stuff, you know. Because we so much of our personality was already formed around the trauma, so to speak, that we're already taking that shape. So we're being asked to kind of, you know, relax that whole clenching that took place around that. This takes a lot of patience and kindness to ourselves. And it also takes not putting pressure on ourselves, you know. Yeah. You know, one part of it is recognizing that that person couldn't help but be so hurtful.
Yeah.
And they themselves had no option.
Right.
They weren't free. It wasn't a free choice, even though, you know, if you look at it like on a daily life level, it seemed like a free choice. But we know enough about psychology to know that people who abuse will usually abuse themselves in one way or another, and it usually passes along that way.
Right.
And so you can talk yourself down a little bit, and you can kind of try to remember that that person also suffered, and out of that person's suffering, they created more suffering, and you have an option to not create more suffering. You know, that you don't have to carry on that tradition. However, inside we're actually doing it to ourselves already, aren't we? So we have to, like, the more we just, so practice is really the key to everything, and the Dharma, and understanding the kindness and compassion of the great beings that know everything and see everything and forgive all faults and still manage to keep no heart, their hearts never close to us.
Yeah.
You know? Their hearts never close to us. And so I don't know how useful it is to focus only on forgiving other people, but I think it's probably just as useful to try to allow ourselves to slow down a little bit and let that tension, mental tension, emotional tension, kind of just flow out of us little by little.
Right.
You know, it's you know, my mother was really hard on me, really hard on me, and I knew, you know, I know she loved me, and but she was really brutal with me.
Yeah.
And I was talking to some empathic person once, and we were going to do a reading, and I asked her, let's talk about my father, and she said, no, I want to talk about your mother. And I went, really?
Yeah.
And so she said, you know, your mother was hard on you because she didn't want you to turn out like your father. She was trying to protect me from being like my father.
Wow.
It never, in a million years, that thought would have never come to my mind.
Right.
Right? And of course, I look back and I see, you know, my father had his issues. And, you know, they were not a good couple. They were never a good couple. They divorced when I was 16, but they'd already been separated. And, you know, it wasn't a fun, happy household. Right. But to think that her way, the only way she could try to protect me was through this rage she had, you know?
Right.
It was interesting. So there's so much we don't understand about our parents and about people in our past, why they did what they did.
Right.
It's really a big project to try
Yeah.
to uncover all that stuff. But the most thing is to try to be good to ourselves now. You know?
Yeah.
Try to figure out how to give ourselves a break now. And that starts to break the cycle of the reactions that we have inside and all the hurts that we have, and you know. And you gotta cry sometimes. You know, it's like you can't. It's nothing wrong with that. You gotta kind of let go, because all this stuff's bottled up in us, and it gets. We carry it with us, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting how I didn't know if it was because maybe I wasn't doing much spiritual practice, as a child or very young, and so those wounds hang on longer. I don't know if it was just because they were deeper, but it definitely makes sense that it was definitely wounds from people that love me very much.
Yeah.
And
a lot of times, the way they transmit their love was the way it was transmitted to them, with a slap.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what happens as we grow up is that we can only accept love with a slap.
Right.
So we wind up recreating the same situations in our lives without wanting to, without recognizing. Like, we'll fall in love with people who give us that slap because it's familiar.
Right.
So it's just, being human is like a fucking pain in the ass.
It's so rough.
Right?
It's like exhausting.
If there was only something else to be, we would do it,
That's
So
right.
in the meantime, I guess we just got to deal with it,
Yeah.
But chanting is a very, very deep practice.
Yeah.
And chanting can help us remove some of those knots in our hearts without having to deal with it here.
Without the issue.
Without the
worrying
issue
about
itself.
the topic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's, find something you can do, whatever it is, on a regular basis, that you can eventually get a go-to place where okay, things are really fucked up. I'm just going to sit down. You train yourself so that those moments are yours and yours alone. Yeah. And whatever happens in those moments, you're just going to let go, regardless. Whatever comes, whatever clouds come, you're just going to let them pass through. You're not going to grab at them. It takes practice to do that. But even like 5 good minutes a day, where you just turn the phone off and you sit down and you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Just maybe watch your breath a little bit so you don't float off. You don't want to be dreaming for the whole 5 minutes.
Yes.
But some way you can just kind of, help let yourself land a little bit, day after day. It'll build.
Right.
It'll build. And, also trust your heart. As much as our hearts have been beaten up, we still have a good feeling inside that we're looking for. So we uncover that inside of ourselves. And the more we uncover that, the easier it is to be in the world, the less we need the world to present itself in a certain kind of way. We can just deal more easily with things as they arise by themselves without trying to control everything.
Right.
So, I don't know, it's an ongoing process. Life is comes every day. So.
Thank you.
Anything else? Is that okay?
That was great.
Yeah?
That was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I should copyright that.
You should.
No.
That's great.
No, but really, we're not alone. We're all humans, have the same thing. Everybody's gone through the similar things, one way or another. People who we never imagined, they look so successful, so happy. They're carrying those wounds. Part of being human means being wounded, you know. And we share that wound with most of humanity already. And it's the healing of that wound and the wanting to heal that wound, which is when a lot of people don't even have that understanding that it could be healed,
Right.
So if we do, that's already a really big thing.
Yes.
Because many times the people who inflicted those wounds on us had no vote.
Right.
But we might get a vote through practice and through understanding what life is about,
Right.
So,
That's great.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank
Yeah?
you.
Good.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah, sure.
I had this experience at the Open Your Heart retreat in Maui, and I'm hoping you might be able to shed some light on it.
Uh-huh.
When I got there, I didn't know anything about Neem Karoli Baba, or, and I kind of a bit nervous about the guru thing. Yeah, to put it mildly. But as soon as I looked at that picture, I kept seeing my dad,
Oh.
who had passed 8 years ago. And they're very different individuals, I would guess. Like my dad wore a suit and went, to an office. And but every time I looked at that picture, my dad was looking at me.
Wow.
And it was just fantastic. And also I just couldn't stop crying.
Wow.
But I wasn't sad. I mean, it was just like raining.
Sure. I know what that's like.
And then I didn't know very much about Ram Dass either. And the first night he was sitting over there at dinner and he waved at me exactly the way my dad would wave at me. And I looked at him and I could see my dad. And so I just spent the whole week with my dad. And
That's great.
and then on the mala ceremony, the chanting, I just really got into it, and I couldn't stop crying, and I waited as late as I could to go to Ram Dass. And when my dad, near the end, when I used to visit him, he couldn't talk very much when he was near the end, and he would put his forehead on my forehead, and it was really nice. And when I went up to Ram Dass, he did that. And I looked at him and I saw my dad. And it's really hard to explain because it wasn't like he was physically, but
Yeah.
and I don't understand it. And
What's to understand? Why would you even bother to try to mess it up with your mind?
well, yeah, I guess it was just so incredible when
Yeah. It's wonderful. Came to see you. Came to be with you. Give you some love. It's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was just overwhelming, actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't look like your dad, do I? Right now?
No. No. And then when you said Neem Karoli Baba was in World War II, like went to England and everything.
Yeah,
yesterday.
he went to England.
And my dad was in World War II. So
Uh-huh.
I thought, I don't know, I don't know.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do specifically with the connection between Maharaji and your dad, but I think it has to do with your heart and your dad. And that's what you needed to see, and that's what you wanted to see. So you saw that.
Yeah,
You got that blessing,
yeah,
connection with your dad. Very beautiful.
yeah. It was a gift. It was like this
Yeah.
amazing gift. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah. Is everybody in Australia like you?
I don't know.
We'll see, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Maybe nicer.
Which part of Australia?
I'm Sydney.
I'm Sydney. Oh, Sydney's great.
Yeah.
And it's funny you said the thing about gurus. Last time I was there, there had been, just before I came, there was this big local guru who got exposed for pedophilia. I forget who it was. It was some guy. And I think it was a Westerner. It wasn't an Indian. It was maybe
Right.
And all his people came to especially to the workshop after the next day, and everybody wanted to talk about the gurus and whatever, it was a very powerful day.
Yeah. I guess I heard that because,
Something, yeah.
yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty lovely.
Yeah.
Physically, it's beautiful, and it's got a bit busy actually. I'm finding
Yeah.
New York quite quiet compared to Sydney. Amazingly.
Well, it's cold. People don't go outside if they don't have to. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But no, you'll have a good time.
Oh, I'm sure. I like it down there.
Yeah. So will you do a workshop or?
Yeah, we'll do a chant and a workshop in Sydney, chant and a workshop in Melbourne. I think pretty much everywhere we'll do both things, except for maybe one place.
Yeah. And is your
Even-
daughter going to come?
No, people got a life.
It was so
girl.
great hearing
Yeah.
her sing the
Yeah,
other
well,
night.
it's
That
good.
was such a beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. It was really. It's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a special thing
yeah, yeah.
to have that with your kid.
Yeah, very good, very good. The best part of a parent's love is the love, you know. There's so many other things in our relationships with our parents, but the beauty of the love itself is very, very deep, you know. Wouldn't necessarily call it unconditional because they don't love everybody the way they love their own children, which is what a guru does. A guru does love everyone equally, just like that. But it is, it can be our first experience of that kind of deep connection.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
I think that's what I was feeling when I was there. That,
Yeah. Ramdas is really, he's just in a great space these days, a really deep space,
yeah, he blew me away.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he destroyed me too. It was when, after I had that moment, I was destroyed. I was really, I had to go and get in the ocean. I was like, yeah. It's-
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All good.
But in a good way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
stopping the layers coming back
Mm.
is the trick.
It's not a trick, and you can't stop it. You can just remember.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You remember, and watch them come, watch them go. They're gonna come, they're gonna go too. So you have to just pay attention. Just remember that love. Don't hold on to it like this, but just allow it to be.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like you can actually hang on to it. It feels like it just is.
Yeah,
It's kind of a big force. So you just,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's space. It's the whole universe.
yeah.
Yeah,
But also, I think the chanting really helps.
sure. That's what chanting does. That's where it's
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. It's lovely. Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
thank
thanks
you.
for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Siaram. Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Siaram. Sitaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Siaram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram